Hey, how's everybody doing today? Alright, this is part two for changing the oil pan. If you saw the first video, you saw how to do everything up to this point. Alright, well, I had a case where I had rounded off a nut, and as you can see, this nut, and I came across a really nice tool that I made another video of. So these cobalt tools, so watch that. Pretty nice. Got a special socket there. But anyways, they're great for removing bolts, and they work on standard and metric bolt heads. And they remove tension from the corners and put it on the faces of the bolts, which is why it's brilliant. Alright, well, basically, to get off the oil pan, you had to take off all the bolts, okay? There's one in particular that was really hard, and it was the one that goes in this hole right here, and I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to put it back on. What I can tell you, what I think you should do is take off the plastic underfacing, because you're able to squeeze your hands through these little bars. But all in all, I still had to use a universal socket. You can see it down there, the universal socket on the end of that extension. And once you get that off, well, it's hard to get the oil pan off. They have a special type of adhesive. They don't even have a gasket. It's just straight up white adhesive. So what I first tried to do was rubber mallet, as most people would, because most engines, if they just have a gasket, you can hammer on them and they'll come right off. Tried a metal hammer, put a bunch of dents in it. Tried a pry bar, put bigger dents in it, and I think I put a hole in one spot, so I probably wouldn't recommend that if you're going to reuse it. What I ended up doing was taking this screwdriver right here and gently tapping it in one of the corners so it didn't scratch the block. It's not a big deal if you scratch the block, just make sure you use RTV around that area. Then once you get that off, what you need to do is, it'll have this residue like this on the bottom of the block. And what you need to do is, if you have a gasket scraper, use a gasket scraper. It's the best thing you can use. It will get off the most of it. And then after that, you should go over it with a die grinder that has a wire wheel on the end of it. I don't have it plugged in. Anyways, if you don't have a die grinder, you can use a wire brush. That would take freaking forever, though. I would recommend using a cordless drill. And they sell these. This is actually a rust remover, but it will do the same. The only problem is it causes a lot of debris. But they make wire wheels for drills. And just go under there with the drill and the wire wheel and just keep on going over it. But honestly, gas scraper is the best thing you can do. You can probably get them from a parts store or like an AutoZone or something, but you probably can't get them from Walmart or something of that sort. Probably have to find it at specialty somewhere, because it's an automotive tool mostly. So anyways, after that, you can see what I did. I got high temperature Permatex adhesive. I usually use the black kind, but mine had dried up. Must have had a hole in the package. But I like this. I mean, it does the same thing. RTV, silicone's pretty much same. I know I'll probably get criticism for that, but I mean, it all does the same stuff. It seals up gaskets, mostly. And then you can actually make your own gasket. But I like to do both. I like to put a layer under on the oil pan for the gasket. And what you do is you just want to kind of get it to set up, just sitting on it. It'll take a long time to cure, so don't even put oil in it overnight. And like this, I need to get this off. Let me just take a rag, it'll wipe off. It's not that big of a deal to leave it in there, but you really just don't want to do that. So, and also I left a lot of bit on the inside, which is fine. Like I said, just try not to get oil in it because this stuff will stay put. I mean, if you feel uncomfortable, you can take it off with a rag, but I've done this before and not have any problems with it. And anyways, you just stick bolts on it so it holds the gasket down a little bit better, and every once in a while you just kind of press on it all the way around. The main part of this is this curve right here. This part is pretty much, if there was ever a point to leak, it would be right here, because there's not a bolt in the center of this. So what you want to do is you really want to put a lot on. You could probably, well, it didn't ooze out that much. I thought it oozed out a little bit more. But anyways, you just have that right there. And once you get this all set up a little bit, I usually let this set up while I'm wire wheeling, which I really need to do here soon, because I like to get it on when it's wet and kind of sandwich it down a little bit, put a little bit more pressure than what these bolts are doing. But anyways, Wow, I was rambling so much I forgot what I was going to say. Well, anyways, that's a big point. Make sure you get it nice and clean on the bottom. Put another layer on top of this and put it up in there. Just get them snug. Wait about a half hour. Then really tighten them up to the torque spec. They do a torque spec. I have it in my book. It's not much. It's like 30 pounds, 30 or 50, somewhere in between there. If you don't follow the torque specs, remember you can break these bolts real easy. So just keep that in mind if you're just doing a ratchet. But you don't even have to use torque specs, in all honesty. I might not even use it. I might just take my 3/8 impact and put it on the slowest setting and run them up in there. Just, these are small threaded bolts. They can break. The heads can break off. You can strip the threads. It's really easy to do. And if you're doing it with an impact, make sure it goes on straight. I usually start them with my finger and then run them on with the impact. So, because you definitely do not want to machine the block. Also, another really cool thing I wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see it down in there. There's a good bit of oil. This actually came from the sump tube mostly, because apparently, I don't know, I guess there's still a vacuum and it holds it up or something, but all I know is when I got this pan off, I heard it a lot drain in there. But something interesting, because I just drained all the oil like 2 days ago, so yeah, I got back to this project a little late. So now I'm going to show you the under part. I hate getting under this car. Focus. As you can see, this is the under part of this engine. And that's the sump. That metal plate right behind it's a baffle, so it keeps the oil stable. And if you can see up in there, you can see that's part of the crankshaft. Yeah, I don't think you can actually see. Oh, you can see the bottom of the piston there. That ring right there. So, and the rocker arm, there it is. That's what I was looking for, the connector arm. Actually, this engine's in pretty good shape. It's got a little bit of built up oil residue right here. You can see I can scrape it off. I might just take a rag and wipe it off. So, all in all, this engine's in pretty good shape. Has like probably 85,000 miles on it. So, but that's basically how you do it. Just watch the other video for the first half. It'll tell you how to drop this exhaust and basically just tell you how to do the procedure. I don't have editing software, so I don't do it step by step. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.